Good evening, and I welcome you, students. The session is beginning with a meditation and yogic technique. You are aware of Kapal Bharti?
Yes,
You
sir.
know what is Kapal Bharti? We will
Yes.
inhale deep, inhale from the nostril and exhale from the nostril with a pressure. We will squeeze our belly like this. One inhale, two exhale, one inhale, exhale, exhale. So we will do 10 rounds of that. This is very good for our lungs, heart, and provides a lot of oxygen to the body and boosts immunity. It boosts our immunity and provides good relaxation to us. All right. Close your eyes. Sit comfortable on the chair. Relax your mind. Relax your body. Relax your legs. Your feet should be touching the ground. And your two palms facing, and you can put them on your lap comfortably. Before I begin, I will take 3 deep breaths in and exhale from the mouth. Inhale from the nostrils, exhale from the mouth. 3 deep breathings. Ujjayi breathing. Take deep breath in. Second, release it from the mouth. Last one. Now you sit comfortably, and after I count 1, 2, 3, we will begin the pranayam kriya which we are telling to you. This will be very important and it will be very good for us. Okay? So we are beginning the pranayam. Get yourself ready, relax. Everything is relaxed. We are going to begin Kapalbhati. Okay. Eyes closed. 1, 2, 3, start. In, out, in, out. Last 3 rounds. Okay. Come back. Come back. Rub your hands. The healing energy is produced. Gentle massage your face, your eyes, your eyebrows, forehead, neck, your head. Hold your hands, pay gratitude to the God and the universe for all the things we have, and we are sure we will succeed in the coming exams. We thank you, God, and God is blessing us that we will be successful in our life. Now you can open your eyes with smiles. Take your neck to the right. Inhale. To the left, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Neck down, in. Exhale, inhale. Neck down, up, down, up. Give clockwise rotation to your neck 3 times. 1, 2, half inhale, half exhale. Last, inhale, exhale. Anti-clockwise 3 times. Half inhale, rest, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last time. Inhale, exhale. Shoulders. Shoulder, when we study, a lot of pressure is there on the shoulder. On the spinal cord should be erect. Spinal cord should be erect, students. Shoulders up and down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shoulders from back to the forward, back to the forward. Rotate your shoulders. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From back to the front. Rotate the ankles. Inhale, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, come back. Open your hands, close your hands. Open your hands, close your hand. Open your hands, close your hand. Open, close. Wrist, rotate the wrist clockwise 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all right, we are back, students. What we did, why we did, I hope it is very clear to you that three of my students have fallen sick and are talking of pain on the from the back side. Why there is a pain on the back side? They are sitting on the laptop the whole day. The spinal cord is bending like this. What will happen? We will fall sick. So spinal cord should be erect, comfort position on the chair, and we should always sit erect while studying, and we can blink our eyes in between, or there will be eye problems. A lot of light energy is attacking our eyes. You can see that there is pressure on the eyes. All right, this is a part of our teaching science subjects because we want to be healthy and we want to have energy levels high. High energy level is very essential for any work we do. If I have low energy, I will not be able to focus, concentrate, and will not understand. Now tell me, is your energy high?
Yes, sir.
All right, then we are ready. Few minutes of yoga and meditation helps us a lot, students. It has improved the brain power of my students, and they are always saying, sir, give us few minutes of this because we are able to solve many questions after that. Otherwise, we were very exhausted and tired. Therefore, I decided to give to many students. Okay.
Very important. Our job here is to discuss reason and assertion question of different topics, different chapters, of which type of questions will be asked. As the new program is coming for 12th also, they are asking that there will be more of MCQ questions will be provided to the students for the next year also. So this is what they are trying to do, is that the students are tested students are tested for the knowledge they have. The best way to learn, up to my extent, I feel, is reason assertion questions, because they will make you think, and with this you will be able to revise the complete chapter. So we have on the screen assertion and reason questions, and this topic, can you tell me which topic it looks like? Because this was deleted from the 12th course this year, but
Yes,
is
sir.
coming in the paper. The isolation of elements, you are studying the principles and processes of isolation of the elements. I would say that students should study the chapter in detail, is very important. The principles of isolation of elements, metals and metallurgy. How to extract metals from the ores is very important, and a lot of questions will be there in the exam based on that. Student, first question is on the screen. NaCN is used during the concentration of mixture of Zn. Now first question will be asked, what is concentration of the ore? What do you mean by concentration of the ores, students?
Removal of unwanted materials from the ores.
Okay, what is the difference between you have seen what we talk of the minerals and ores? You have heard about there are minerals in the earth crust from which we extract.
Yes, sir.
The question is, they will put up a reason or assertion of any statement from the book, and then they will ask you questions on that. What methods we have been using for concentration?
Froth flotation process.
This question is based on which process? There was a question on even Gangu and there were a question on the minerals, different minerals and ores. Statement was given in one of the papers I saw. Very easy, but still there was some problem there. So the froth flotation process, what is the principle of this process, froth flotation? If you want to see, I would advise read more, because that is the only way we can learn, students. What is the principle of the froth flotation process, which is given in your book? The mineral particles will become wet by the oils, while gangu particles will become by the water.
Okay.
So the result is that what will happen? Then froth flotation, froth is formed from where we recover the ores, metals, and important is that PBS and ZNS, the sulfide ores can be separated by using froth flotation process. And because there are two sulfide ores, mixture is there, then what we use sodium cyanide. Sodium cyanide is used as a depressant. So this is called depressant. If ZNS and PBS is the depressant used in NaCN, what will happen? It will selectively prevent ZNS from coming to the froth,
Yes, sir.
because ZNS will form a complex which is soluble and wetted by the water with the sodium cyanide. So first assertion, tell me, sodium cyanide is used during concentration of mixture of PBS and ZN. Is this statement correct?
Yes, sir.
This is correct.
Correct.
This is correct. Second, ZNS forms a cyano complex which is soluble, hence wetted by the water.
It is also correct.
This is also correct. And PBS will not form. PBS will not form. So in the froth, which will be present, questions could be changed in the paper. So that's what we are saying. When the froth will be formed, froth will contain which one? PBS or ZNS?
It will contain PBS. Froth will contain PBS.
Because ZNS will react with and form cyano complex with NaCl. So the second statement, is it correct statement? Reason, is the reason correct?
Uh, and sorry, get it. Yes, sir, it is correct.
Zinc forms a cyanide complex, you know about it, which is soluble, hence wetted by water. That is correct. That is why the zinc remains in the solution. And PBS does not form a complex with the NaCN. So it forms froth. It is separated. After, now, is it the correct explanation for the assertion?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then what will be our answer, student, for this?
A.
Answer A. You will see this is important point, because here the depressant is very important in the froth flotation process, has been usually asked in exam in different ways. What are depressants? What is the function of the olive oil, or whatever questions are put up, what they have been asking, especially on this froth flotation process. Pine are being used. What are collectors? What are froth stabilizers? So any question can be asked. That is why I have written read more, students. It will be a good revision. We have to revise the course and try to read as much as possible. Next question is coming on the screen. Limestone added to the blast furnace during extraction of iron. Now the question is extraction of iron is important. What is limestone? What is the function of limestone?
Limestone, it will remove any silicate impurity of the ore, which will be removed as slag.
What will happen then? What impurities are there in the case of the iron? Iron metallurgy is important, has been discussed in the book. You will see that. What happens in the case of iron? Extraction of iron is important, and what is the main impurity in the case of iron?
Uh,
In the extraction of iron, SiO2, what is that? Silica is an
silicate.
impurity. SiO2 is an impurity. And what type of impurity is this? You know, this is a basic flux. What will happen then? CaO will react with SiO2 to form CaSiO3. What is this CaSiO3 called? This is what we call as slag.
Slag.
Flux and slag. Okay. This is acting as a flux. So is it the statement correct? Assertion correct?
Yes, sir, it is the correct statement.
It is a correct. Okay. Limestone decomposes to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide.
Yes, sir, it is also correct.
It is correct. But is this the explanation for this?
No, sir.
No, this is not the correct explanation, though this statement is correct. Reason itself is correct, but it is not the explanation for this. Then what is our answer?
B.
Answer B. All right. Read all these things. Flux and slag is very important. A lot of questions will be there on that. What is flux? What is slag? What type of fluxes are used? What type of slags are used in different extraction of iron, extraction of copper, extraction of zinc? You will find what is the flux or slag which is used and how they are removed, how the impurities are removed. Okay, we have started revising the course. Next question is coming. Hydrometallurgy is in metallurgical process of copper. What is hydrometallurgy? Copper, extraction of copper. If you study the extraction of copper is important. What is important about copper? How it is extracted? How copper is extracted? Extraction of copper. The sulfide source of copper is there, copper oxide is there, and then there can be reduced.
Uh, yes, sir, it is correct.
You've seen copper oxide, copper sulfide, they react to form copper. This is correct. What about this second reason?
Hydrogen is a good reducing agent. Yes, sir, it is also correct.
Is this the explanation for this?
No, sir.
No, this is not the explanation. They are two independent statements. There, it has nothing. Then what is our answer coming?
B.
Answer B. Okay. The extracted copper obtained is called blister copper. Blister copper. You know, the copper blistered in appearance. Why it is blistered in appearance? You know,
Due to the evolution of SO2.
SO2. Extracted copper obtained is called blister copper. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. The carbon dioxide gas form tries to escape, leading to formation of blister. Is it correct?
No, sir, it is not.
It is wrong. What is that? Sulfur dioxide gas.
Sulfur dioxide.
This is wrong. Then what will be our answer?
C.
Answer C. Okay. Next question is coming on the screen. Student is based on refining. Refining. Can you tell me what is refining? In the metallurgy, what we are doing refining. What do you mean by refining?
The process by which we can obtain metals of very high purity, because the metals extracted are usually contaminated with some kind of impurities.
There
So,
are impurities which are present, and then we have to get them in extra pure state. So we do the refining. What is the refining? Nickel is refined by complexing with the CO. Is it the correct? What is the name of the process?
uh,
Refining is very important. They ask questions on that.
it is correct. This process is
Nickel will combine with CO and form a complex. You know what complex is formed?
NiCO whole 4.
This is formed at high temperature. This is a complex of nickel. This is stable, and this is formed at high temperature. At high temperature, maybe around 380 Kelvin or something. Then what happens on heating? It will decompose to give pure nickel. This can be distilled. This can be removed and then decomposed. So it is volatile. The volatile, something is volatile, it could be removed and then we can decompose it. So it can be refined by complexing with CO. That is correct.
Correct.
Nickel carbonyl complex is volatile and easily decomposable.
It is also correct.
That is the reason then, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is the reason we have shown it. That is how it is obtained. Then the answer for this will be
A.
A. So this is called, what is the name of the process? Mond process.
Mond process.
There's another process which is used for titanium.
Van Arkel method.
Van Arkel method. These two methods have been usually asked in the paper in different forms. What we use in the case of Van Arkel process?
In this, we heat the zinc metal with iodine, zirconium metal with iodine.
Iodine. Then tetra iodide is formed, which is decomposed. Zirconium or titanium. All right, these are some of the important questions because you should study more about refining, which is in your course. Important point. Next question is coming now. Sulfide ores are calcined before reduction. There are two things which we use in metallurgy. What are those? One is called roasting. Other is called calcination. What is the difference between roasting and calcination, students?
Uh, in calcination, the ore will be heated in absence of air, or the air will be in limited quantity.
There will be limited quantity.
But in roasting, the ore will be heated in presence of air.
Okay. Now, first assertion is correct or wrong?
The sulfide ores are calcinated. It is wrong here.
Can the sulfide ores be calcined?
No, sir.
It is wrong. Which ores are calcined? You know, calcination is done for which ores?
Carbonate ores.
Carbonates and or this which have moisture or something. Water is there, we can strongly heat and remove them. The sulfide ores are first done roasting to convert them into oxides because oxides are more easy to reduce. Okay, wrong statement. The sulfide ore gets converted to oxide which is easier to reduce. That statement is correct.
Yes, sir.
This is correct. Then what is our answer?
D.
D. All right. First, because this itself goes to D answer. Just to learn more, we are doing so many things because we want to revise and know more about what we are doing. The anodes in Hall hold process have to be replaced periodically. The question is, what is Hall Herold process? What is this process? Where it is used?
Uh,
Hmm.
six. It is used for mainly aluminium.
Okay. What are the electrodes which are used in this process? Which anodes are used in this process?
Here, cathode is carbon lining and anode is graphite.
That there is a steel cathode and graphite anode. What happens during the process? The anodes, what happens to the anodes? The carbon of the anode reacts with oxygen to form what?
Oxygen. It will produce CO2 and CO.
It will be oxidized to produce oxides of carbon. Then what will happen? The anodes will be burnt.
Yes, sir.
So is the statement correct? They have to be replaced periodically.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Okay. The metal anode reacts with oxygen form and gets converted to oxide.
It is also correct.
It is correct. Then is that the correct explanation for the assertion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is the correct explanation for the assertion. Then what answer we are giving?
A.
Answer A. Okay. Next question is coming. Pine oil is added to the powdered ore and water during froth flotation process. So we have to study more about froth flotation process as more questions are being asked on it.
Yes, sir. It is correct.
It is correct. Pine oil enhances the non-wettability of ore particles in water. What is the function of pine oil? Why we add that?
Sir, it enhances the non-wettability of the particles.
That means this is correct
Correct.
reason. Is the reason correct explanation for the assertion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Then what is the answer?
A.
Oh, yeah, all right. Sodium cyanide is used for leaching of the bauxite. Leaching of the bauxite. Now you have to understand what is a leaching process. What is leaching?
Leaching is used when the ore of a mineral is soluble in some solvent.
When physical methods are not effective for concentration of the ore. Concentration. Leaching is done to concentrate the ore. And the leaching of aluminium has been discussed. Bauxite ore. What are you used for the leaching of the bauxite?
Uh, for leaching of bauxite, we use NaOH,
Concentrated
concentrated NaOH.
NaOH. Then what he says, leaching of bauxite is done by sodium cyanide. Is it the correct statement?
No, sir.
This
It
is
is
wrong.
wrong.
Wrong. Okay. Gold and silver form soluble complex with cyanide ion.
Yes, sir. It is correct.
But our answer is now
D.
D. Okay. See, we have to, the equations and the action you should study from the book because they can be asked, I mean, in different way. These are very important reactions which have been given in the book. The gold and silver, how they are removed by complex formation is very important. These form cyanide complexes from which we recover the silver and gold. Next question. Anode mud is useful in making refining of copper economically. How the refining of copper is done?
Electrolytic refining.
Electrolytic refining of copper. Acha, this is very important. What is the anode and what is the cathode in electrolytic refining of copper?
Anodes are impure copper and cathode is pure copper.
impure and
copper.
pure copper. What happens? What is anode mud?
The anode mud.
One, you have impure copper. Then you have pure copper. Small, thin. This is thin, and this is thick. When you do the electrolysis, what happens?
The impurities from the impure copper will settle down at the bottom.
What are they called?
Anode mud.
That is the anode mud, impurities. Is the first statement correct?
Yes, sir, it is correct.
What he says, anode mud contains rare metals like gold, silver, selenium. Is it correct?
Yes, sir, it is correct.
It is correct. Is this the correct explanation for this?
Yes, sir.
Because the cost will come down if we recover some gold, silver, and this will recover the cost. Then what is the answer?
A.
Answer A. All right. See, the answers are coming. All right. Some questions are coming from the P block elements. These are the questions from P block elements. Oxygen has less negative electron gain enthalpy than sulfur. What is electron gain enthalpy?
Sir, electron gain enthalpy is the amount of energy which will be released when a neutral isolated gaseous atom will accept one electron.
Is that the first state assertion correct or wrong?
Oxygen has less negative electron gain enthalpy than sulfur. Yes, sir, it is correct.
Why it is correct?
Sir, because the size of oxygen is very small and compact, so it will have a less negative.
O is compact and small. What is the result of that?
It will have a less negative electron gain enthalpy.
Why?
Sir, because of its small size, it will not gain an electron easily because of repulsion.
What repulsions are there? What is oxygen? Already has how many electrons?
So,
6. You can see lone pairs of electrons are present, so they will repel the incoming electron. This is correct. Oxygen is more electronegative than sulfur. Is it correct?
yes, sir, it is correct.
It is correct. Is that the correct explanation for the assertion?
No, sir, it is not.
Not. Then what answer you are giving?
B.
B. Okay. Next question. Sulfur has greater tendency for catenation than oxygen. What is catenation, students?
Property of self-linkage.
Self-linkage. Okay. Is it correct?
Sulfur has a greater tendency for catenation than oxygen. Yes, sir, it is correct.
Give me example.
Sir, for sulfur S8
And oxygen O2.
O2.
Okay. The reason OO bond is weaker than SS bond.
Yes, sir, it is also correct.
Correct. Is that the correct explanation for the assertion?
Sulfur has a catenation. Than SS. Yes, sir.
Because of this sulfur can form single bonds, therefore it forms S8, but the oxygen cannot form a single because that oxygen bond will break. It is not stable. Therefore, what is the answer then?
A.
There was a question based on the sulfur exists as S8 and oxygen as O2 gas. Why? Question was S exists as S8, whereas oxygen exists as O2. Why? What answer you will give? See, the questions can be framed in many ways. Only if we understand, we will be able to answer. Otherwise, we cannot answer the questions.
Sir, because oxygen bond is weaker than SS bond, so
You have to say O single bond. See, that is the point.
okay.
Important. This single is important word here. That is our point. Otherwise, it will not happen. Whereas O2 is more stable because the oxygen is forming a double bond. Double bond of oxygen is very stable.
Yes, sir.
So oxygen is highly stable. It is existing in your atmosphere. Water is liquid, H2S is gas. Is that the true thing? H2O is liquid, H2S is gas. Is that the correct statement?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Okay. Reason, there is a stronger intermolecular hydrogen bonding in H2S.
This is wrong.
Wrong. Then what is the answer?
C.
Answer C. Some questions could be easy, some could be difficult, some could be tricky. We have to pay attention to each and every word because one word will be changed. They only change one word and the meaning of the question changes. Next question. Both S and O, both the S oxygen bond in sulfur dioxide are equal. That means what is the structure of SO2? What is the structure of SO2? Okay, find the structure of SO2 to answer such questions.
Whereby SO bonds sulfur are equal. Yes, sir, it is correct.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
What is the structure of SO2?
It is angular.
Angular molecule. Angular is the shape, not the structure. Next part of this, sulfur dioxide exhibits resonance. Resonance.
Sulfur dioxide molecule exhibits resonance. Yes, sir. That's true.
Okay. Then is that the correct reason for this?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. What answer we are giving?
A.
Okay. Ozone is a powerful oxidizing agent. Is it correct?
For oxidizing. Yes, sir. It is correct.
O3 is why it is powerful oxidizing agent.
Sir, because it can easily liberate nascent oxygen.
Nascent oxygen. This is correct. Next. Ozone easily decomposes to give oxygen.
Yes, sir. It is also correct.
It is also correct. Is this the correct explanation?
No, sir.
No. What answer we are giving?
B.
Answer is C. Okay. Next question
Sir,
is
B. Option B.
okay. B. Next question. SF is very inert molecule. SFX6 sulfur, is it inert?
F6 is very inert molecule. Yes, sir. It is true.
That is correct. It is difficult to break the SF bonds.
Uh, Bonds. Yes, sir. It is also correct.
Correct. SF bonds. Sulfur fluorine bond difficult to break. SF bond doesn't matter. He is talking of this. He is talking of just SF bond. SF bond could be where? In any compound.
Uh, no, sir. In any compound, no.
What answer we are giving?
C.
What is the reason for this inertness? What reason has been given in the book? You have read?
For inertness, it was steric reasons.
Then steric reason is something else than this bond breaking process. It's a highly symmetric molecule, so it's surrounded by fluorines from 6 sides, so reaction doesn't take place. All right. H2SE is more acidic than H2E.
H2SE is more acidic than H2TE.
Hydrides, I said hydrides are important question. Sulfur, selenium, tellurium, like this we have discussed.
No, sir. It is wrong.
Wrong. Okay. Then there is no need to go further. I say the answer is D. Sulfuric acid is highly corrosive.
Yes, sir.
It is correct? Sulfuric acid is powerful oxidizing agent,
Yes, sir, it is also true.
but does it is the correct explanation for the assertion?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay, then answer will be
B.
all right. So this is how we answer the question. Next question is coming. Sulfur dioxide is a good bleaching agent. Bleaching agent. What is it? You read about it. Bleaching agent.
Sulfur dioxide is a good bleaching.
We have you can read more about it. It is the correct statement. Sulfur dioxide readily oxidizes to sulfate in solution. How it acts as a bleaching agent? SO2 goes to SO4.
Okay.
Then what will be the answer, students? Now we can
A.
answer question faster because we understand question number 60. Ka for sulfuric acid is high as compared to Ka2. K1, the dissociation constant of 1 is more than KO2. Is it correct? It is a
Yes, sir.
diabasic acid. Okay. Sulfuric acid, diabasic acid form two solutions. That is also correct. But
Correct.
is it the correct explanation for this?
No, sir.
No, sir. What answer?
B.
All right. This ends up the second part of the question answer sessions on reason assertion, and I hope that sessions will be very informative and will give a good revision of all the topics, and then we see you in the next class. So keep on sharing these videos with all the friends so that we can get more and more important question and revise the course. Okay, then
Okay.
I will see you in the next class.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.